Okay, this is take four. I keep rambling, and so I just got to get to the point a little bit more with these videos, I think. Because I don't want to keep doing this many takes. It's just getting annoying. But basically, I just finished writing the Substack, wrote about structure, wrote about organization, wrote about mental clarity. And, today was a little bit of an off day and didn't really get as much work done as maybe some of the other more productive days that I've had, especially in the last week or so. But I was doing some thinking how I can kind of improve and be less reliant on willpower. Because I think with a lot of the projects that I'm trying to work on right now, there's too much involvement with willpower, too much activation energy required. And then in the work itself, there's also too much friction. And so I need to get rid of all these things. Like it's something that James Clear talks about, I think, with with just friction in the work that you're doing, right? You want to just have as little obstacles or as few obstacles in the way as possible if you want to consistently do this thing. And so I think about even writing the Substacks, it's a little bit meta, but it's just a little bit difficult sometimes to get myself to sit in this chair and kind of write when I have no vision for what each article or entry should look like. I have no vision for this general structure that I'm looking for. And obviously, it comes with being a beginner and really starting out right now. But that isn't to say that I wouldn't do better with some structure in place. And so, what I think I'm going to do is probably use AI to kind of help me generate a lot of these mental maps. I've used it in the past a lot for my coding, ChatGPT, I mean, and for more like technical specs or MVP roadmaps, for example. And I think it could serve me well in just a bunch of domains. Since at the end of the day, it's just planning, right? It's just planning. And something that I wrote about in the Substack was this example from college where I had a buddy, this is probably sophomore year of college, and he was like, I was looking over his shoulder on his computer and he was switching tabs. And on one of the tabs, he had a literal outline of all the classes that he was going to take for the remainder of college, like the credits, the major requirements, and making sure that everything was kind of lining up for how he wanted to finish his career, his academic career. And so I think a lot of that kind of can translate into what I'm trying to do, right? I think it's pretty admirable that he had the plan like that, and he's obviously a really smart guy. Um, did really well academically, and so I'm thinking about just how I can start to implement this into a bunch of different things. Right? I think about activation energy mostly, and I think about friction, and I know for a fact that kind of planning this out would reduce both of those. Starting to ramble here because I don't really know what the hell to even talk about or kind of how to elaborate on this because I'm kind of thinking about it as I'm going. But yeah, these are like the main things on my mind. I think this just comes because like I had more time today, right? I wasn't doing as much execution work, and so I had some more time to think. And something that I've had in the past is when you try to plan too much or you do this like analysis paralysis and you're just like kind of procrastinating, I feel like that's not what this is because I really do think that I would do better off with a lot more structure for some of my long-term visions. I think would help long-term and help short-term, like I said. Um, so I'll kind of wrap up here because I don't want to ramble on this thing. I don't really know what the point of that would be. But I mean, execution is always going to be king at the end of the day. But I think if I take tomorrow, for example, which is Friday, and just take the day to kind of plan out some of my long term goals, some of my more medium term goals, and short term goals, just in life in general, I think it would make me a lot happier. I think it would make me happier daily as well as I'm kind of going through the process of checking things off or getting things done and kind of reaching certain checkpoints, reaching certain deadlines, right? And whether or not I'm on time for those. will be to be determined, right? But I think it's something important that I really want to do tomorrow. And as I said, like the job search is kind of stalling right now, and I'm kind of in a waiting period where I don't exactly know what's gonna happen, but if I do hear back soon, some things could happen pretty quickly, and so we'll see, right? But yeah, I'll kind of wrap it up there. I hope that tomorrow I can talk in a bit more of a structured form. Um, I guess if I do a little bit of planning for what the Substack is going to look like and what these videos will look like, I think that would help out honestly with these videos because these are so off the dome that like oftentimes I'm just in the process of thinking about what I'm going to say and it just doesn't it's just less substantive, right? If that's even a word. There's just like less substance. Um, like right now. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.